hoofbeats. Don't expect to see a zebra. Turns out I have stripes. Welcome back to Zebra Life 24/7, Episode 5, The Reality of Hypermobility. Today I wanted to share with you what it's like to live with this disorder. I wrote this several months back during a time I was going through a rough flare. I wanted to express what was happening to me in the moment. So I invite you to step inside of what it's like to be me, living with my condition. My spine started shifting and I hear a huge thud and cracking sounds in the middle of my back, which all but drops me to my knees. I try to breathe deep, but the shift caused my ribs to move and apply pressure against my lungs. I become still. I slow my breathing. I begin to stabilize myself from the pelvis. Slowly, I tilt it as to not make anything worse. Once it's stable, I begin to manipulate my hip back into place. At this point, it's only slightly out of place. Phew. I steady my feet, and I put on shoes that help to better my alignment. Now, I concentrate on my knees to make sure I am not bending them too far backward or putting too much pressure on the sides of them. I begin to distribute my weight evenly amongst the lower half of my body. Once I feel stable, I refer back to the pelvis to make sure it's positioned just right. Once I'm steady, I start working my way up to my ribs. I push my spine backwards, place my hands under my rib cage, and slowly push them up to back to align everything into place. Then I remember my neck is weighing me down, so I begin to focus on pulling it up and back into position. My neck and shoulders tense up. Dang it, my shoulders are out of place. I take one hand and press it against the front of my shoulder to control the adjustment a bit more. I repeat it with the other shoulder. I make sure that my wrists and arms are braced to alleviate the pain and discomfort that comes. Okay, I think I'm prepared to move. My head starts to pound from all the pressure. Uh-oh, the inflammation is kicking in from everything being so loose. My hip, back, head, shoulders, and neck are screaming at me. It's time to apply heat, pain patches, and anything else that might alleviate the pain. Cool, let's start to do some dishes. I accomplish the dishes, and I feel like a warrior. I should have been extra careful. Next time, I'll try to remember, try to do better. A few hours later, I stand up cautiously, knowing my muscles and joints are tired from the day. I do what I can to concentrate on not disrupting my internal balance of everything. I shouldn't have pushed my hands against my knees. The pressure was too much. As I stand, I instantly feel my ankle crack, which immediately makes my knee pop. The sudden shift of my kneecap causes my femur to push upwards towards my hip. My hip slightly pops and moves against a tendon and nerve. This sends a zinging sensation right up my spine and into my shoulder, where the surrounding area begins to pulsate. Everything feels internally swollen from the major shifts. Crap, I better hurry. The inflammation is coming on fast. I must warm my body as quickly as possible before things get so much worse. If I can get into a scorching hot shower, I might be able to save myself from having my body completely shut down internally. This leads to a lot more complications and pain. If I can stay warm, I have better control over my body and handling the aftermath of the subluxations and inflammation that is now scattered throughout my body. Faster, Holly, it's starting to happen. Quickly, get yourself warm before your body temperature becomes dysregulated and you trigger a Raynaud's flare, or an even faster heart rate, nausea, anxiety, blurred vision, dizziness. Deeper breath. Holly, slow your heart rate. The water burns every inch of my skin and it feels incredible. Yes, I caught it in time. I got this. I start to breathe almost comfortably. My insides are turning into jelly. I have no strength left. Zip. It feels like I've just ran a marathon and completed a Ninja Warrior at the same time. You see nothing. I step out of the shower, barely able to lift my foot. I use walls to brace myself from falling. I know that I'm done now, done with moving for a while. I choose to sit, but need to move often as I feel my insides crushing into one another. My muscles are now so loose that they feel like dead weights. At least I stopped it from really going haywire. Those are the nights where my husband Bryce has to help me into bed. He props pillows under my legs and physically lifts them up because I am too weak to do so. He'll lean my body forward and position pillows around my back and stack them at my sides. The side pillows are a must because if my arms can't rest on them, the weight of my muscles are too much for my weakened tendons and ligaments to hold them in place. Then my shoulders fall out of place. Like I said, my insides are complete jello. All in all, I consider it a good day. The days that I understand the whys to my condition are a lot easier to manage. If I can understand my movements and the whys, I have a better chance of controlling the degree of pain and negative outcomes that happen. 1 year ago, I didn't understand any of this, and that's my silver lining. That's what fuels me to keep going. This is why I keep learning how to understand as much as I can. Understand it for myself to better my life, and hopefully at the same time I can educate others. Maybe it's educating others on being aware of this crazy disorder, or maybe I can help just one person living with this condition see that there is hope in this pain. No one provides us answers, not with a condition like mine. The medical field still struggles to recognize and understand the complexity of this disorder, so I must advocate for myself, others, and for my son. I must do what I can to pave a better, less painful future for others. That's all I have for you today. Stay tuned for weekly episodes of Zebra Life 24/7, airing at 3:30 p.m. every Saturday. Please click the subscribe button below. And remember, perception is your reality.